What's going on, Falcons fans? Welcome into Falcons Today by Chat Sports. Matthew Peterson here, recapping the latest news and rumors surrounding the Dirty Birds. Plus, as always, when I host the show here, I love to get the audience involved and get you guys on screen. So we're going to look at a comment from one of our viewers. But before we get even further into today's show, I'd like to kind of just recap what's going on in the division. A quick look around at our neighbors here in the NFC South. Falcons currently sit at 4-6. That Panthers loss on Thursday night was ugly in a lot of ways. One, the game was just kind of a bummer. The rain didn't let up pretty much. Mariota was bad, but you really let not a great opportunity slip through your fingers to keep pace with the Bucs. And after their win in Germany over the Seahawks, Tampa Bay might be pulling away with this division, but still a lot of football left here. But this is a really good question I want to throw your guys' way. We're going to talk about Kyle Pitts and Mariota and the draft and all that in just a moment. But what is your one-word reaction to the Falcons season? If I told you before the season started that this team would be second in the division and would not be far off from the top of the leaderboard past the halfway point, you'd be ecstatic about it. But this team has also had so many great opportunities slip away from them that were very winnable games, like that Panthers game. For me, I probably have to go fraud because I'm a bit of a fraud. Was not a big believer in the Falcons this year. They have proven me wrong, so I'm a fraud. That's probably my one-word reaction. Let me know what yours is in the comment section. All right, let's get to some Falcons rumors now. So the first one up I want to talk about, should Atlanta start Desmond Ridder? This is accurate. This is not a crazy overreaction. What are we doing here, right? How much more mediocrity do we have to see from Mariota before we decide to make a change? I think Arthur Smith's approach is, as long as we are still playoff competitive and we are still in the hunt, we're going to keep rolling with our starting quarterback, which I agree with. But also, Preston Hayes, who has some colorful profile pictures at his social media accounts, putting out, been saying this beep since week 3. Ridder plays the same style with a bigger arm. Plus, we need to see if Ridder is the future or do we need to draft another quarterback. Preston, I agree. I echo your same thoughts. The two quarterbacks are not jarringly different. And you definitely want to find out if Desmond Ridder is a quarterback you think you could have a future in. Because if not, it's okay. You didn't sink too much into him, right? But you don't want to waste next year with Desmond Ridder finding out he's not the guy when you could have maybe drafted a quarterback like, I don't know, C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, Will Levis, Hendon Hooker. This is a much better QB class. So if you're going to fart around with Mariota and he's not going to actually elevate the offense, see what you have in Ridder, Arthur. Are you listening? If not, I sure hope someone sends this to you. Because Mariota against the Panthers on Thursday night, 19 for 30. Here's a good way to know your quarterback is maybe not the guy for the rest of the season. When all of social media says, this is a Thursday night game, you can take your girlfriend to the movies and miss because Mariota's playing and he's doing stuff like this. It's embarrassing, right? See what Ridder has. Find out. I sort of get the logic of as long as we're still in the playoff hunt, we're going to roll with Marcus Mariota. But if Marcus Mariota is the thing that's holding this team back at times, why not find out if Desmond Ridder is even a QB to be contended for the starting job in years to come? Also a good time to remind you guys, Desmond Ridder in college, his last year with the Bearcats, had a pretty great season. 64.9 completion percentage, threw for north of 3,300 yards, 30 touchdowns, QB rating of 158.7. Ridder was not bad in college by any means. And the Falcons clearly like him enough to draft him. So if the team is not going to win, if they're not going to make the playoffs, test the rookie. And even if they're still going to be in playoff contention, send a message to your locker room, Arthur. Not that we're abandoning ship by going to the rookie. No, that you're not settling for below average QB play. And you're not going to let this season go to waste because of Marcus Mariota and his deficiencies and him sort of wearing out the locker room. He's definitely exceeded my expectations as a whole, but I definitely think we have seen enough of Mariota, right? Everyone's got their Mariota fill in. Let's see what Ridder can do here. But is it time? That is the big question. That's the poll question for today. Should the Falcons start Desmond Ridder? Type 4 for yes, his jersey number, or 1 for no. Really curious what you guys have to say. Now, today's show is sponsored by Established Titles. Established Titles is a fun and novel way to help preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland. It is a project based on historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds or lords and ladies in English, and all while helping global reforestation efforts. Title packs give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land with a unique plot number on a private estate in Edelston, Scotland, and an official certificate with a crest. We plant a tree with every order and work with global charities, One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future, to support global reforestation efforts. You could officially include the title Lord or Lady on your credit card, plane tickets, dating profiles, etc. It makes a great last-minute gift. Plus, the first 200 people purchasing a title pack using my link will effectively be next to my plot within a few minutes of walking distance. Depending on how many of you want to become a lord or lady, we can build our own little Falcons kingdom. It makes an amazing last-minute gift. Established Titles is actually running a massive early Black Friday sale right now with discounts up to 80% off. Plus, if you use code CHAT, you get an additional 10% off. Go to establishedtitles.com/chat to get your gifts now and help support the channel. I've got that link for everyone in the comments and the description of today's show. All right, moving on to the second rumor we're going to address here. The Falcons should draft an offensive lineman. This is accurate. I don't think the front five for Atlanta is set in stone. We have seen teams that have been underperforming in the NFL, but the offensive line's maybe not the biggest issue. Example, the Cleveland Browns with Joe Thomas for a long time. But the Falcons, outside of 1 or 2 starters, they're going to be looking to revamp this upcoming offseason here. I mean, the Week 10 PFF grades for Atlanta, not very nice to some players, right? Outside of Jake Matthews and Chris Lindstrom, I really don't see anyone being cemented as a starter moving forward without a doubt. That's my assessment of the Falcons' offensive line here. You keep Lindstrom, replace Matthews, and you try to improve the rest. Bring in competition at least, right? Don't just settle for how they're playing right now. It doesn't have to be your biggest, need in the draft and the first thing you assess with a splash free agent signing in March, but definitely bring some new blood into Flowery Branch and make sure people aren't just getting content with their starting job and not pushing themselves here. But how do you grade the offensive line? If you were to use a scale of 1 to 10, where would you give this offensive lineman a grade? For me, I'll probably put it at a 6.2. There's worse in the NFL. There are worse, and there's definitely a lot of room for improvement. So put me in for a 6.2. Also, put us in to get to 8,400 subscribers here at the channel. We are 36 away. So if you have not subscribed and you love the Falcons and you're looking for a Falcons YouTube channel, make us a part of your rotation by subscribing today. Next rumor I want to bring up here. Kyle Pitts is a bust. This is an overreaction. He is not a bust. There is definitely a conversation to be had, though, which is alarming because you don't want to have that conversation in year 2 for the guy picked 4th overall. But it was another underwhelming performance from Kyle Pitts. 2 grabs for 28 yards. Now, there's going to be finger-pointing going all over the place, from Arthur Smith to Mariota to Kyle Pitts. I think the blame, as cliche as it sounds, can be divided amongst everyone. Who gets the biggest slice of the pie? I don't think that goes to Kyle Pitts, but I don't think Kyle Pitts is just cleared of all the underperformances and the lack of production and just put it all on everyone else. No. Pitts has 15 targets the past 2 weeks, which is good to see. We have seen stretches where he gets no targets. But he and Mariota, for whatever reason, just cannot connect. And listen, when you draft someone 4th overall, the first player that was not a quarterback in 2021, the whole point of a first-round draft pick is they are supposed to overcome deficiencies on your team. They are supposed to elevate people around you. That's what first-round talent is. And I'm not seeing that from Kyle Pitts. I'm not seeing him make Mariota look way better than he really is. And there were some big names that the Falcons passed on for Kyle Pitts. Jamar Chase, Penei Sewell, Patrick Surtain, J.C. Horn. A lot of guys who are doing some great things in year 2. Listen, producer Nick Roloff, he says the Falcons would definitely not draft Pitts again in a redraft. I'm not as confident in the word definitely, but I think they would definitely have a different conversation. I think they would look at all their options. Given the choice, Kyle Pitts or Jamar Chase, I'm taking Jamar Chase. But the Falcons might hold out hope that Kyle Pitts could be the next Gronk that all teams are chasing. But he needs a real quarterback, and that is true. Mariota's not doing him any favors, but also when you're picked 4th overall, you're supposed to do your quarterback favors. But who would you draft at number 4 in 2021 if you could go back in time and redo the draft? Hard to pass on Jamar Chase. Patrick Surtain's doing awesome. You could have Surtain and A.J. Terrell. Oh, that would be a top cornerback duo. Hayward's great, don't get me wrong. But those two guys on their rookie contracts, that would really be the no-fly zone, no doubt about it. I appreciate everyone for tuning in, making us a part of your day. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, and we will see you all later with more Falcons news and rumors.